Let's go through the initial configuration on Motorola Moto G87. So once you turn on your phone, of course you have the choice of the language. We also have some vision settings, so if you need to go through them, then of course you can immediately do so after turning on the phone for the first time. And once you are ready, just tap on the start button here in the bottom right corner. You can immediately set up your phone using another device, so if you still have your phone around, the previous one, and if you want to copy some settings, accounts, and other stuff, then you can of course choose either Android device or iPhone or iPad in order to do so. And in case you want to perform a clean setup, which is something that I will do here, then in that case you want to tap on the skip text in the bottom left corner. Now over here you have the option to connect to Wi-Fi, of course, so you should be able to find your network in here. You can also tap to see all Wi-Fi networks in case yours doesn't show up immediately. And what you can also do is you can of course set up your phone offline by using this setup offline text over here. So in my case I'm gonna just connect to my Wi-Fi over here. And of course if you connect, then you should be able to immediately proceed to the next menu. Now over here we have some privacy and security settings, so you can decide which options you want to have enabled and which ones you don't need to have enabled. It's up to of course personal choice. In my case I'm gonna turn off this option over here to I'm not gonna help Motorola improve their products. And also we have the enhanced device support, which I'm gonna turn off as well. Of course, it's up to you if you want to use these options or not. And then scroll all the way down and choose accept and continue. And then we need to, of course, wait again. After that, you need to choose who are you setting this phone up for. So you can choose for yourself or for your child. In my case, I'm setting it up for myself. So let's proceed with that option. Then you have the option to sign into a Google account, and you have the option to sign in with ease, so we can search for accounts connected to the phone number if you of course used a SIM card, if you inserted it. In my case I'm just gonna skip that because I'm gonna sign in using my email. So if you want to do that, just use the skip option and then you can of course use your credentials. You can also create a completely new account if that's what you need, or you can skip the sign-in process if you don't want to log into any Google account just yet. After that, we have the option to, well, we need to accept Google Terms of Service if you decide to sign in, so let's do that. And then you have the option to use a screen lock password. And of course, first we have the option to set up a PIN code, but if you want to use a different password type, you can tap on more unlock options in order to choose a different one. If you don't want to set up a password just yet, we can skip this by using the skip option here. And I'm gonna actually skip. There we go. Then we have the option to copy apps and data. So also if you have a Google backup, then you can use that by just going next. But if you don't want to do that, since I'm performing a clean setup without transferring any data whatsoever, then of course in that case we can tap on do it later over here and confirm that you want to do that. Then we have the option to, to go through this list and decide what should be enabled. We have a couple of different Google services, like location, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth scanning, phone number verification, and we can also send usage and diagnostic data. I'm gonna actually turn off everything, but of course, just like before, it's up to you which options you want to have enabled straight away and which ones should be disabled. One thing that I can recommend you to do is turn off Wi-Fi and Bluetooth scanning, because it is not really necessary to have these options enabled all the time. And whenever the phone needs to use these options, then usually, of course, you are informed about it, so you have a quick way to turn it back on. And the reason why you might want to have these options disabled is because it can actually save you a bit of battery. Maybe not that much, but still it saves a little bit of battery. And then we can tap on accept in the bottom right corner. Then over here we have the option to back up our data, so we can back up our photos and videos and other device data, all of which is listed over here below in the description. So if you wish to have Google backups, then of course you can just decide what data should be backed up, and then you can turn the backup on. In my case, I don't use backups, so I'm gonna tap on the don't backup over here. And then we have the option to choose our default browser and search engine, so let's go ahead and tap next. And first we have the browser selection. Now, if you are not sure which one to choose, I believe the most popular choice is going to be the Google Chrome, so you can just probably pick that and you can be happy with this choice. And if not, you can pick randomly. And then we can tap set as default. As for the search engine, the most popular choice is of course Google, so we can select that. And let's set as default. Then over here we can continue the setup, which is actually a Google setup or Google's part of setup. I'm gonna actually tap on continue to show you what is next. But if you decide to not do that, then of course you can just leave and get reminded later on. So let's go ahead and tap on continue. First, we have the quick share feature, so we can tap on I agree in order to be able to use quick share. Even if you decide to not use it, or if you decide to skip this, you can still use quick share. You will just have to tap on continue or that you agree if you decide to, of course, use it for the first time. And then over here we have information about Gemini. And then we can tap on continue, and then we have the option to set up Hey Google, which is the voice activation for Gemini. If you want to set it up, if you want to be able to wake up Gemini by just saying Hey Google out loud, then feel free to do so. Just tap on turn on, and if you didn't use Hey Google before on your Google account, then you will also have a setup, which is very simple. You just have to say a couple of sentences out loud to be able to set it up. And if you don't really use this feature, you can tap on a no thanks, or if you don't want to use it. Then you also have the option to set up Google Pay, so you can add your payment cards to be able to pay with your phone, of course. Feel free to do so right now, but in my case I'm gonna skip. I don't really want to spend my time on that right now. And then unfortunately we have bloatware. So we have a bunch of apps that are going to be installed for us, and the bad thing, or the bad news, is that we cannot really decide to not install them. They are included, and you can uninstall later on once you are on the home screen, but for now we just have to press on OK. There we go. And then we need to wait a couple of seconds to wait for the next menu. So after that we have the option to get updates from Motorola about well, new updates and promotions and events and so on and so forth. So of course, if you wish to sign up for this, you can just tap on sign up. In my case, I'm just gonna skip. And then I can also disable notifications about these things like new products and offers and so on. So I'm just gonna tap on no thanks. Then we have the option to use a live lock screen, which is a feature that allows you to change the lock screen wallpaper every time you open the lock screen. Personally, I don't like this feature, so I'm gonna turn it off. But if you do like it, then of course you can just keep it enabled, and we're gonna go next. Then we have the choice of the navigation style, so you can either choose buttons or gestures for navigation. In the case of buttons, you also have the option to change the button order, so you can have the back button on the right side instead of the left side. And then let's go next. Then we have the theme, so you can choose light or dark theme, or you can choose transition to let the phone automatically change between the light and the dark theme based on the time of the day. Then you can also set up parental controls, so if needed, you can of course set it up quite easily just by tapping on setup over here. And if you don't need them, just skip on the left side. There we go, we are pretty much done, so let's tap on finish. You might also see some tips and what you might want to do straight away, so feel free to use them, but in my case I'm just gonna tap on go to my home screen. And most likely we will see some additional things that we can go through, although straight away I have to say that we can just close it by using this X in the upper right corner, or you can skip by using this skip text in the bottom left corner. Now in my case I'm gonna tap on continue just to show you what is over here, but most likely it's going to be just bloatware, just a bunch of different apps that the phone tries to pre-install for you. Now in this case, in the case of these apps, top apps that have checkboxes, you can just tap on these checkboxes in order to disagree. And there are a couple of top picks which do not have the checkbox, but what you can do is you can tap on each app individually, and then you can uncheck it over here. So in case that's what you need to do, then there we go, this is how it looks like, but most likely you just want to skip that. You probably want to avoid installing these apps. There we go, in my case I even have the skip button because I actually unchecked everything. And there we go, now we should finally have the access to the home screen. This is how it looks like. And we're gonna go to the app drawer, and even though I disabled a couple of these apps that the phone tried to install from me, I have two calculators, I have a couple of bloatware, I'm just gonna call it bloatware unfortunately, but thankfully we should be able to uninstall it quite easily if you just press and hold your finger on it and drag to this uninstall section. Nevertheless, this is all for in the case of the initial configuration. If you need a guide on what to do at first on your Motorola Moto G87, if you are not sure what to do, then of course you can check out the video over here, and that's pretty much it. Leave a like and subscribe.